this
behind one of the Manchester Wood
Mount Equinox on that side, and into.
I was born in Reading, Vermont.
By gunsmith John Dowd in Goshen, Connecticut. So he died in March. He was going to be buried. And luckily,
friends,
Romans,
countrymen,
lend us your ears.
Good evening, we are the Hoyt sisters.
Yes.
I am Frances Hoyt, and this is my sister,
Grace Hoyt.
I was born in 1868.
And I was born in 1871, the younger sister.
Only by 3
3 years.
Yes, that's not that long,
It's just
dear.
enough, though.
Anyway, we are famous vaudeville performers.
Yes, we were very well known throughout the turn of the 20th century.
That's right. We sang.
We danced.
We acted.
And we even modeled.
We did. We modeled. That was so much fun. We worked with many famous people, including John Philip Sousa.
Yes, that's right. He was such a wonderful
man. We toured around the country with him. In fact, we were in more than 200 concerts with him.
Absolutely.
Oh, do you know what might be fun? Should we sing something?
I don't know. Do you think they would like that?
Of course they would. We're very, very talented.
Oh, that's true. Well, what should we sing for them?
What about that song about the sisters?
Oh,
yes, that one.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Why don't you start? She needs a little bit more time than I do to warm up. I have a little bit more experience.
Whatever helps you sleep in the afterlife, sister.
Oh, thank you, dear. Why don't you just start?
3 little maids from school are we, pert as a schoolgirl well could be, filled to the brim with girlish glee. 3 little maids from school, everything is a source of fun.
Nobody's safe for we care for none.
Life's a joke that's just begun. 3 little maids from school.
So leading up to the couch where Fish sat is my favorite part of the radio station, besides, of course, the studio. And that is this historical wall that goes all the way around. All the bands over the course of the years, as a show of gratitude to the station, send us their albums when they've gone gold or platinum, just kind of thanking us for the support. And because a lot of times, being an independent station, we're able to jump out in front of the rest of the world on it and take a chance on bands, and clearly they appreciate it.
the Cranberries.
And this is the couch that Fish sat on. You can see it's seen better days, but why would we get rid of it?
Absolutely. This is
Prince Ziggy Killmeister, a nice little scratch post there for the cat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for some of the late night DJs too, I think. So Brooks, when he bought this, it obviously was a house, and he had to convert it into a radio station. Old bedrooms became studios. This is the original on-air studio here. You can see it's in no shape now for an on-air performance, but I want to share with you a real quick story, one of my favorite pieces of history from EQX, and we won't mention any names to protect the guilty, but one of the DJs back in the day apparently had it with being a DJ and decided to lock himself in this room and start playing Frank Sinatra My Way over and over and over again until Brooks was able to bust down the door and stop that antics.
And this went over the air.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look, we have an evening with Mike Nichols and Elaine May.
Regrets, I've had a few, but then again.
And today we are in hazy, hot, and humid Dorset, Vermont at the Maple Hill Cemetery to talk a little bit about Spafford Holly West. He was one half of the partnership of Norcross and West, who won the contract to build the New York Public Library in Manhattan. Quarrying began around 1900 and ran along for a few years, and they were at the height of the quarrying operations. And in 1906, Spafford Holly West died suddenly of a heart attack. So they needed to find a fitting memorial. So what they did was they quarried a large block of marble from the South Dorset Quarry. They loaded it onto the Manchester, Dorset, and Granville Railroad train. They brought it to the depot, they carved it, they sanded it, they inscribed it, and then they loaded it back on the train, brought it up to South Dorset, and here's a part that I really wanted to tell you about. So he died in March, and he was going to be buried, And then luckily there had been a snowfall. So when they got to the South Dorset quarry, what they did was they loaded this block, which weighs 40 tons, onto a sleigh, and they had 8 teams of horses pull it up here to the entrance of the cemetery. They got to the entrance of the cemetery. What are they going to do? It was too tight to make the turn. They were standing there talking about it. The lead horse got spooked and took off like a rocket. Right down the drive over here, came in, block slid off, landed a foot from the base. Can't make that stuff up. Thanks again.